Hello, my name is Miranda Wise, and I'm the writer and producer of the story that you are about to watch. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed writing it. And take care. I'll see you on the other side. Bye bye. Chapter 9. The breeze blew through her hair. The water was refreshing as it reflected the sun that rested on the river's surface. That was the cleanest river Heidi had ever seen in a city like theirs. Darren steered the boat towards the other side of town. Anyone who wanted to go from downtown to the suburban part would have to take the 311 bridge if they were not boating across that river. But she was crossing another way, and it felt refreshing. She stood next to him as he guided the boat.
Do you like this, Heidi?
Oh, I love it.
And you know what I love? I love you.
She looked into his features. His medium brown skin was so flawless, his goatee and mustache complementing his complexion. For a man of 44, he looked 10 years younger. You said you love me?
I do, baby.
Then he leaned down and gave her the most passionate kiss she'd ever felt. His lips were soft, warm, and full. Suddenly, a high-pitched sound came from the boat, and a red light started blinking on its control panel. What is that?
I don't know.
What is that? Are we in trouble, Darren?
I don't know, Heidi. I don't know what it is.
Darren said as he tried to figure out what the alarm was about. He shut off the switch and the sound stopped, but it started up again. Heidi became frightened, and she could see the boat careening towards what looked like a mountain. She screamed, but no sound came out. She woke up. Realizing the sound was her phone's alarm, she reached over, hit the X, and shut off the sound. That was the third time she'd had that dream since the day he took her to the house. She sat up in bed, her mind trying to process that dream. Why did she keep dreaming that? She took a deep breath, slid her feet into her slippers, and headed to the adjoining half bathroom. She opened the tap and ran the water and started brushing her teeth. After she washed her face, she headed to the girls' room to wake them up before knocking on her son's door. Kendo, wake up! She could hear him stirring around in his room. Once she was done showering, she got dressed. The children had already poured their cereal and orange juice. Ma, I need money for my trip. Oh, how much is it again, honey? $12. She reached into her purse, handed her daughter the money. 10 minutes later, the family was headed outside to their white 2021 Nissan Rogue. The thing rode so smoothly, and she loved the roominess to be only a mid-size SUV. It was just enough for her family. She bought it 2 days after Darren showed her his house. Instead of 18 grand, Darren was able to talk his brother down to 16 because of a small dent in the passenger door that you could barely see. Kendall hopped up front despite Brianna's protests. Mommy, he sat up front the last time. Make him sit in the back. We don't have time for this right now, Brianna. Let her sit up front tomorrow, okay, Ken? He didn't care. All he knew was that he was sitting up front today, right now. She dropped them off at school after telling them all to have a wonderful day. Each day before they pulled off, they said a prayer to God to keep them safe. She headed to work. This was her first week as a full-time employee, and she loved it. She headed into the building and to her small office. She rested her purse on the desk and booted up her computer. She supervised a staff of 11 people, mostly women. They were already familiar with her, and they were happy she had gotten the job as a supervisor because she was so easygoing and tended to make everyone laugh. She was just as nice as Chrissy. But being a supervisor carried a lot of responsibility. She had to verify their work, take inventory, delegate certain assignments, and time keep. But she did not mind. "Hello, Miss Archer," one of her employees said as they passed Heidi's office. "You can still call me Heidi, Janice. What's up?" Janice decided to enter the office. "You mind if I come in?" "Sure, have a seat." Janice held her coffee cup as she sat in the chair near the door. Then she got to talking. "Girl, me and Robbie went out last night." "Oh, are you serious? Finally, huh?" "I know, right? We went to the movies and then we went to dinner. Oh, it was fun." That recurring dream crossed Heidi's mind. She wondered if Darren was really going to take her on that boat ride. She wasn't pressing him to do so, although she would love to. "Data Cord, this is Miss Archer. How may I help you?" It was one of her employees calling to let her know she was running late. Janice left the office once the phone rang and headed to her cubicle. 10 minutes after she hung up, someone approached her office. It was a young man holding a bouquet of assorted flowers. "Heidi Archer," the young man said. Someone must have directed him to her office. Otherwise, he must have noticed the name tag on the wall next to the doorway. "Yes, I'm Heidi Archer." These are for you." "Oh, thanks." She accepted the flowers and noticed the man had the logo of a flower company downtown. He left shortly after, and she opened the small envelope and read the card. "Just wanted to tell you how much I miss you, Darren Drummond." That touched her heart so much that tears welled into her eyes. She had never received flowers from a man before. She wiped her eyes before calling him. Chapter 10. Darren was measuring the baseboards when his phone went off. He grabbed it and spied Heidi's number. He smiled.
Hey, you.
"Hey, thanks so much for the flowers. You don't know how touched I am. They were beautiful."
Beautiful flowers for a beautiful woman.
When he said that, Myrick happened to overhear him and shook his head. Despite all the noise going on around him, he happened to hear that. "Oh, thank you so much, Darren."
So, how's the job coming along? It's your third day, right?
"Yep, pretty much the same. Of course, the environment is familiar, just a different role."
Yeah, I feel you.
"Okay, so I don't want to keep you, but I just wanted to let you know that I received those beautiful flowers."
Okay, lady. And hey, when do you want to take that boat ride? It's going to be 80 degrees this weekend.
"Oh, Saturday sounds good. Can we go after work? You know I work at the restaurant in the morning."
Sounds about good. So how about the evening? We'll have a nice dinner and cruise on the water.
"That sounds wonderful."
Well, sounds good to me too. So I'll pick you up around 6. The days are getting longer.
Darren was still smiling when he hung up until Myrick decided to attempt to put a dark cloud over him.
Flowers?
"You bought that whole flowers?" Darren spun around to face his coworker.
I resent that statement. She is not a hoe.
"But she got 3 kids. Tell me that's not hoe behavior."
I told you to knock it off. Now that's your last warning, Myrick.
Why you always get so offended when someone talks about her? Like Melvin Daniels said, she would be the average at best type of chick. You know what I'm saying? Darren had walked away, but Myrick would not give up. The next thing he knew, he turned around and punched his coworker out. Myrick fell backward until he hit the floor. holding his nose. Other guys standing around witnessed the interaction. Jeff uttered an expletive and hurried over to him. Everyone stopped working.
Whoa, what's going on here? What's going on?
Jeff said. Neither man said anything. Darren started walking away while Jeff helped Myrick off the concrete floor. His nose was bleeding. Myrick headed over to his bag and grabbed a rag and held it to his face.
What happened?
Darren,
What happened, man? Nothing, I'm just tired of his dusty behavior.
Jeff figured Myrick had made a hurtful remark about Heidi and that he felt Darren was within his right to check that dude. Jeff knew that if someone talked about Linda that way, he would have done the same thing. Jeff slapped hands with Darren and said,
I don't blame you, man. He acts like he's competing with Heidi or something with his delicate behavior.
Darren continued doing his job. Was he afraid that Myrick would report him to the boss? No, he wouldn't get fired anyway. Myrick had been warned about his mouth by the boss before. Going to Adrian's did not feel the same to him without Heidi working there, so he decided to get a fish taco from the food truck and eat his lunch in the break room at the building. He decided to call her. What's going on, Darren?
Nothing, just eating lunch. What's up with you?
Nothing. Did you go to Adrian's?
No, I got a fish taco from the truck.
Ooh, you're gonna have to eat a little better than that.
I know. So you want to cook for me?
Okay. Well, what do you want me to cook?
Are you serious?
As serious as you are about that boat ride this weekend.
Oh, wow. You know what, Heidi? You are amazing.
She had vowed to never get into another relationship, but this man's treatment was unlike any of her previous boyfriends. He had even talked about wanting to get married again and not wanting to spend the rest of his life alone. You're amazing too, Darren.
Thanks.
They talked another few minutes before hanging up. Chapter 11. To her own surprise, Heidi was looking forward to that boat ride with Darren. Letty came over shortly after her daughter arrived home. Are you okay? Letty asked, noticing how Heidi was running around the house. She seemed quite nervous. It's only a boat ride. You don't have to let it go any further than that. Heidi had long ago realized that. She wasn't planning on allowing any man to make her feel like she was obligated to do anything just because he treated her out on a date. With that in mind, she decided to make a spinach quiche to take with her. She made 2 pans. The other one was for her family to have for their dinner. The aroma of the food permeated throughout the apartment. Heidi slipped on a pair of pink capris and a floral pink, green, and yellow short-sleeved blouse. Mom, where are you going? Kendall, her 13-year-old, asked. I'm going to hang out with a friend. A guy? Yes, his name is Darren. Oh, the one you was talking to Grandma about. Yes, darling, that's the one. She gently touched him on the chin. We're not getting another father, are we? She knew he still remembered being tossed out by Terrence. He never forgot that, and she never required him or Brianna to refer to him as Daddy, but Mr. T. No, you only get one father, son. What about a stepfather? Heidi hesitated. She knew she would have to have this talk with her children if things ever advanced with her and Darren. She wasn't quite prepared to have that discussion with them because as far as she was concerned, they were just friends. I don't know yet. Do you like him that much? Kendall, leave your mom alone and let her finish getting ready. Letty cut in. But Heidi still answered her son. She was always open with them. He's okay, Mama. She sat down on the sofa and ushered him to sit next to her. Son, you are my child, and nobody will ever come before you and your sisters. Even if things grow between me and Darren, it does not mean we'll get married or move in together, okay? What if he's a really nice guy, Mom? You want me to get married? As long as it's with a good guy. She was surprised to hear him say that. He had just turned 13 a couple of months ago, and she had to keep in mind that her children were growing up. However, she did not dare make them responsible for her emotional well-being. Well, we'll see what happens if we ever get there. But I want you to do me a favor, son. What kind of favor? Let me know when you're ready for him to hang out with all of us. And when we do, I'm going to let you give me your opinion of him. Is that fair enough? Yes, ma'am. She hugged him and finished getting ready. Darren showed up shortly. That knock at the door made her heart jump. She had done her hair and put on lipstick and a little makeup. Kendall opened the door. There stood a tall man wearing a pair of jeans and a dark blue t-shirt.
You must be Kendall.
I am. You must be Darren. The man proffered his hand and said,
Pleased to meet you, Kendall. You've been looking out for your mother?
I have been. Have you?
Oh, very much, sir.
Kendall stepped aside and allowed Darren into the apartment. The girls joined them in the living room, and Heidi made all the introductions. Soon, they were leaving, and Heidi handed him a basket containing the quiche with a few snacks. Okay, see you kids. You all be good for your grandmom, okay? Mwah. Mwah.
See you, kids. It was nice meeting all of you.
He placed the food in the trunk, and they drove down to River Road. He parked the Suburban, and they headed over to where his boat was docked, a Crest Savannah 270. Heidi felt so special. She had never been treated so well in her life. Darren allowed her to rest in her femininity while he lifted the top back. It reminded her of convertible top cars. He placed the food into the back and took her hand, helped her into the boat. He was doing everything. It felt wonderful to be served by such a good and gentle man. He started up the boat and began steering it away from the docks.
How are you feeling, girl? Are you okay today?
She donned her shades, looking out over the water. Yes, I'm loving it, Darren.
Well, I'm happy. Glad to hear that.
Thanks so much for bringing me out here.
My pleasure, Heidi.
So when did you buy this boat?
Last year. It's 2 years old. I got a great deal for it, too.
Oh, okay. That's good, Darren.
I'm always looking for great deals, especially when I make major purchases. In fact, I just found a really good deal on a townhouse I'm closing on at the end of the month.
You're buying another house?
I am.
To rent out? I'll rent it if the price is right. He looked over at her and smiled.
Really?
Yeah, I've been wanting to buy or at least rent a house. The neighborhood where I live is getting worse, and I worry for Kendall.
I hear you.
So, what would you rent it for?
Well, let me get back to you on that.
Okay, but I hope you consider me once you make a decision. Darren thought about the fact that if he were to rent that house to her, he would not charge her as much as someone else. She had 3 children, and he would never take advantage of her. He would not be losing anything by allowing her to pay below market value. The problem with society was that too many people with means oppressed those without. Once they reached land on the other side of the river, he parked the boat and tied it up. They hopped out and headed to the small park-like area where they enjoyed their food and wine. She spread the blanket out for them to sit. He poured them a glass of wine, and they sat facing each other. This is so beautiful, Darren. This is beautiful.
Not as beautiful as you are.
By then, he had removed his shades and was looking into her eyes. Thanks, Darren. He studied her a minute before he said,
Why do you always do that, baby?
Do what?
Whenever I pay you a compliment and you say thank you, your eyes always go downcast.
I don't know.
Is it because you really don't believe you're beautiful?
He had wondered if she'd ever been emotionally abused by a man. I think I'm okay.
But not beautiful?
Her eyes finally met his when she said, At times I don't, but who's watching, right?
Okay, you got that one.
I need you to understand something about me, Darren.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, when I was with Terrence's dad, he never said I was beautiful or even cute for that matter. He always made me feel inadequate, sort of in a non-verbal way.
I know guys like that. He's the type of person who wouldn't compliment you at all, knowing that's worse than an insult. It's like you're invisible, not there, until he wants something.
He hit the nail right on the head, and she was surprised he described it so well. Do you know guys that are like that?
Most dudes I know are like that.
Okay, well, what about you? Are you that way? He shook his head negative.
I'm not. Cowards love degrading women. My job as a man is to protect and build up his woman.
Well, you a needle in a haystack. Before she could even ask the next question, he said,
Heidi, I want you to be my woman.
That statement nearly took her breath away. She stared at him, speechless.
Can we do that? Get to know each other and hopefully take it to the next level of marriage?
You want to marry me?
Heidi, I wouldn't be spending good time with you for nothing. Why else should a man court a woman? Now, if you don't feel that way, it's okay to remain friends.
But Heidi wanted this. She wanted him. She wanted to marry. Nobody had ever asked her to marry them. I think we can take it to the next level. You know, it's interesting because my son was drilling me this afternoon about us.
That's something that's not hard to figure out. He's a very mature young man, and I want to get to know your kids. I want you to meet my daughter as well.
They finished their dinner, had another glass of wine, talked, laughed, and headed back after 3 hours. Heidi did not want the night to end, but he promised this would not be the last of their having a great time. He told her that he wanted her to bring the kids over after she went furniture shopping with him. You want me to help you pick out furniture for that big old house?
Yeah. I saw how well you decorated your apartment. You seem to have a knack for making things pretty.
After he parked the boat and secured it, he held her hand as they walked back to the Suburban.
Heidi, a man builds a house, but a woman makes it a home.
You're so traditional,
I'm doing what a man is supposed to do.
he answered. The problem he saw with most men was that they wanted women to do womanly things but were not willing to do manly things. A woman can only bring a man comfort if he comforted her first. The man was the leader in that regard, and that also meant showing humility. He helped her into the SUV and pulled out of the parking space. One thing she did not realize were the pair of eyes that watched them from nearby. Instead of the person making themselves known, they decided to remain inconspicuous. Chapter 12. The next weekend, Heidi took the kids up to see their father. She never liked visiting correctional facilities, even when her cousin was locked up. She left Darren with Letty and made the 3-hour drive to upstate region. Kendall had all kinds of questions for his mother. He wanted to know why his father was locked up. Did he even care enough about his children to do the right thing? And other tough questions that Heidi was sure he would aim at his father once they arrived. They parked in the visitor lot, headed to the front gate where they were searched. Once they went through the security, they were led to another front desk where they were checked in. The only thing Heidi took with her was her key fob to her car. She locked everything else in her car. They waited in the waiting room, and 10 minutes later, Xavier came in. He had grown a beard that was turning gray and had shaved his head. He'd gained about 30 pounds. She almost did not even recognize him. He joined them at the table.
Hey, kids.
"Hi, Daddy," Brianna said.
What's up? So, how much time they give you?
Kendall asked.
Well, I'll be eligible for parole in about 3 years.
Okay. Then what you gonna do if they let you out?
Son, I'ma get me a job, get to know my kids again, live right.
Kendall nodded slightly.
Sounds like a plan. So I heard y'all doing real good in school. Your mom sent me a copy of all y'all report cards.
Yeah, I'm an A student, but I don't let none of them dudes at school try to bust me for it. Knowledge and education is power, you know what I'm saying? Xavier glanced at Heidi and smiled.
Sounds like you've been listening to your mother. Now that's a smart move right there.
Yeah, Mom is real cool for real.
Always respect your mother. Don't be like me. Don't end up like me.
Well, Mom said you made a mistake. We all do. It's what we learn from it, you know? Xavier was amazed at how such a wise person his son was, and he could only give Heidi the credit for that. While he was proud, shame washed over him. He was supposed to be there to see his children grow up.
I'm sorry, Brianna. I need to be paying attention to you too.
It's okay, Daddy. Why did you shave your head?
My hair's totally white, sweetie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
They talked for over an hour before it was time to go. It was Saturday, but well beyond 3 in the afternoon, and Heidi had promised Darren she would allow him to treat them to dinner. They all stood. Xavier thanked her for what she was doing for his children and even admitted he had done her wrong. But it was too late for regrets. It was time to move forward, and she hoped if he was paroled, he would do the right thing for himself.